We're in the book of Judges, chapter 13 through 16. Here we are going to talk about Samson. So let's go from the beginning. Samson's mom, at first, she couldn't have any kids. She was barren. And in near ancient Eastern times, if someone couldn't have kids, they assumed that they were cursed, but this was not the case. The angel of Yahweh went to his mom before she was pregnant, of course, and let her know that she was going to have a son. Now, if you read throughout the whole Old Testament, you see that there were women who were barren, but the Lord gave them a kid who was legendary in the Bible. For instance, Elizabeth with John the Baptist, which is Jesus' cousin. He was the greatest and last prophet. Jesus said it himself. There are other people too, like Rachel, Rebecca, Sarah, Hannah. There's women there that have been barren for the longest time. Lately, I've been seeing a lot of my TikTok feed of women who are trying to have a kid and they are doing IVF. And it saddens me because some women want to be mothers so bad and they just can't. And I don't have an answer for that because I am not God. There's also women who mistreat their kids and they popping kids. I don't know why. But one thing that I do know is that God is able. Let me tell you a story about this friend that I used to have years ago. She was with her ex-husband and they were trying with IVF for years. Well, this guy was not doing what he was supposed to do in marriage. Well, after she left him, she got with someone else and bam, they have a kid. It's all in God's timing. Now, as for myself, I've had PCOS since I was in my early 20s, and my husband and I don't have children, but I'm at peace. I think for the longest, I didn't want any. I was okay with it. So many reasons, but I'm not going to discourage anyone that wants kids. All I am saying is that it's all in God's hands. It's His timing. And if you are a prayer warrior, just keep praying, but don't get discouraged if you can't have any because He has a bigger purpose for us. Okay, back to Samson. Now, this boy was woman crazy. He was just a very lustful man. So I don't know what was it with Samson and these Philistine women. Remember, Philistines and the Israelites, they had beef. So he wanted this girl. I think it was his first time seeing her. He hasn't even interacted with the girl. He just told his dad, hey, I want that girl. I want her to be my wife. And dad was like, okay, let's go. Now, remember, in near ancient Eastern times, marriage was more so of a transaction, like, hey, let me give you some cows and give me the girl. It was very different than today. Now, Samson was a blessing. He was not to cut his hair. His parents weren't supposed to touch his hair because that's what gave him strength. No one knew that besides his parents and him. Well, the Philistines, they were already here. Like, I don't know if it was a ceremony, but they were gathered there and they wanted to know the secret to his strength. So they asked his fiance to get it out of him, and he wouldn't budge. So they ended up threatening the fiance, and because of this, it went down south. Let me just tell you about how strong Samson was. He was on his way to the place where his bride was, and there was a lion, and he wrestled the lion, and then the lion. Then some time passed and he saw the lion's carcass and there was honey, like there were bees there, and he just got the honey and started eating the honey. Oh yeah, he wrestled a lion. That gives you an idea of how strong he was. So Samson did tell the men, if you really want to know my strength, figure out this riddle, something along the lines of that. Well, long story short is that they did get it out of the female. Now, Samson was upset, to say the least, because how are you messing with my heifer? He really said heifer. He stormed out, but he came back assuming that he still had a wife. The dad ended up giving her to a Philistine man, so he was angry, like, how dare you give my wife? That was going to be my wife. And Samson started being mischievous, doing things to the crops, and he got like 30 foxes. Y'all want to read it for yourself. The Philistines ended up burning her and her father, which is very sad. Then some time has passed, and here goes Samson again. He was lustful. He wanted this prostitute, and he ended up keeping the prostitute. I don't know exactly how it happened. She's the one that wanted to know the secret because the Philistines were like, hey, we're going to give you lots of money. Just tell us what his secret is to his strength. Remember, the secret was not revealed previously. It was just a riddle, and the riddle was about what he did to the lion and then eating the honey from the lion's carcass. But no one knew that. And I think it was like 4 tries from this woman, and Samson finally told her his secret, and they chopped off his hair. the Philistines captured him. They even gouged his eyeballs out so he couldn't even see. But Samson did ask Yahweh for one last miracle of strength where he was already captured. But he was like, please let me just give me strength. Yahweh was like, okay, because he did repent. The whole tower building, wherever they were at, came down from what he did, and then they all died. Keep in mind that you still want to read and study the Bible for yourself. I always say, let all men be liars and God be the truth, which means don't take my word for it. There's a lot of new believers. Talk to Jesus, take it up to Jesus, and he will reveal things to you. I just try to summarize Bible stories for you guys. God bless.